Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this or any other conversation I ignite going over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, my Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension to this channel is my Instagram, Big Mouth. Just a little message, just to let you know. Over the next 3 weeks, I'll be in the UK. I'll be leaving tonight, so I'll be spending time with family over Christmas in the UK. I don't know how many videos I'm going to be able to do, if any. I will take this laptop with me, and I will attempt to do so, but we'll see how we get on. But check me out on Instagram and Twitter, so you'll be able to keep up to date with what's going on those platforms. So fingers crossed we can still see each other via me doing the daily videos or every other day. But don't lose hope. Don't unsubscribe. I'll be back in 3 weeks doing the dceu daily, and somehow through my platforms we'll find a way to keep in contact and talk dceu and everything TV and movies. Right, on today's show we're going to talk about the consequences of Zack Snyder posting the black suited Superman, and we're also going to be talking about Snyder fans versus DC fans, because I think this is a very important subject. So Zack Snyder posted Henry Cavill in the black costume. Now, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was a very positive, exciting thing, like everything Zack posts. But it's become a situation since Zack Snyder was talking to the fans on Vero, pretty much telling us that Henry would not wear the traditional blue and red costume in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. That would have been something that he would have had to earn through Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. You see, Zack's very clever, because I'm sure he had no idea all this kind of outrage was going to kick off. Of course he did. This creates an argument for fans to say we must see Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 so we can see Henry in the blue costume, the traditional blue costume from Man of Steel and BVS. That's why he's done it. That's why he's told everyone that he's in the black suit in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. The whole point is, though, and I discussed this yesterday, but just to go through it again, the whole, Justice League trilogy is like the comic books. He is revived. He's not himself. He's under the control of Darkseid. So he has to earn the right to become Superman again, right? And we spoke about this yesterday. And I know a lot of fans will say, well, that's not fair. We're not going to see him in the traditional costume. But really, you can't blame Zack for that, because when he did that, he thought he was going to be able to do the Justice League trilogy. Now, as far as we know, that's not happening right now. Now, we hope and we pray, with us keep on hashtagging release the Snyder Cut, with Zack pushing and pushing and pushing, and he's more connected to anyone within the industry to know what to do for the best. So hopefully all this can be sorted out. I don't see the point of fans getting upset. I don't see the point of fans tagging Zack Snyder, begging him to put him in the blue and red in the Snyder Cut reshoots and scenes. I don't see the point of that. So we have seen pictures, right, of Zack Snyder and Ezra Miller, aka The Flash, shooting something. Now, it's interesting because Ezra Miller was seen frying some things, dressed up very camply. I think that's how Ezra actually dresses, by the way. But it's interesting because some fans are thinking maybe he's shooting something for the Snyder Cut or Justice League. What are they doing together? Is it an advert? I don't know. But they have been seen together. And that is a very, very interesting situation. Let me see if I can find it here on my device, if you give me your patience. But a lot of people have posted this to me. Let's have a look. It might even be on my Twitter inbox. Where are we? Right, here we are. Let's have a look. Where are we? No, it's not on there, but I will find it for you if you bear with me. We just have to go through, because this is a very interesting turn of events. Right, here we go. Ezra Miller is throwing something. There you go. Now, I don't know where this is in America, right? But he was seen with Zack, and people are saying that they're shooting something, and I'm not quite sure what they're shooting. And people are starting to put one and one and get two, maybe even four, maybe the wrong result. I hope that they're shooting something to do with the Snyder Cut, but it is interesting. And it's also interesting how Zack and Ezra made sure a few fans took some pictures. So I don't know what's going on there. Is it just two friends meeting up? Are they shooting something? As I say, some people think it might be a commercial. Some people, why would these two people be together? But Zack has been seen by, with some of the cast of Justice League. So it's all very, very interesting stuff. I mean, as I say, I hope that there are some kind of Snyder Cut reshoots going on. But as we know, very soon Ezra Miller will be very busy shooting Fantastic Beasts 3. So it is interesting to see them together. And if I get anything more on that, you'll be the first to know here on Big Mouth on the DCEU Daily. Now, a lot of Snyder fans are not actually DC fans. And a lot of Snyder fans are DC fans. You see, I'm an admirer of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I am absolutely devastated how Warner Brothers treated him. I wanted to see his 5-movie arc. But originally, before MOS and BVS, I was a DC fan. I was a massive Superman fan, a massive Batman fan. So it's interesting to me when I see people putting films like Shazam against Batman v Superman. Someone said, Shazam had more heart than Batman v Superman. Well, that's an interesting thing to say. What do you think? Obviously, Shazam is a lighter movie. That is true. But Batman v Superman it's a compelling film. It isn't Shazam. These two films can exist. It's about variety. But people, putting DCEU movies against each other, I just don't like it, and I think it's pointless. It's like people slating Brandon Routh's and Christopher Reeve's Superman, and basically building up Henry's Superman and doing down the other versions. Personally, I think all the versions are great, but people do like to start a Barney over on Twitter, don't they? For me, enjoy what you enjoy. I enjoyed Shazam, and I enjoyed BVS and MOS. I think you can do that, but you don't have to enjoy both things. But what you don't have to do is go on Twitter and start pointless kind of arguments about what's the better film. I can't sit here and tell you what the better film is between Shazam and Batman v Superman. How can you compare the two movies? The only thing they've got in common is that they've got DC characters in them, right? Shazam did what it did. It ticked the boxes for the right people. Like it or not, and whether you've got an agenda or not, Shazam was successful. It made 4 times the budget. Yes, it's the lowest grossing DCEU movie, but if you make a profit, you make a profit. And if Warner Brothers weren't happy with it, they wouldn't have announced a sequel. It wouldn't be doing Black Adam. They wouldn't be wasting their time. They wouldn't have this plan for Black Adam and Shazam to fight in Shazam 3. So this chat about Shazam being a flop, Shazam being better than BVS, BVS being better than Shazam, it's pointless and it's childish. And I really don't see the point. It is going to be very, very intriguing what happens from now till Christmas, if there's going to be any more reveals on release the Snyder Cut or any announcements. I mean, I don't know what Zack's plans are. He's still editing his zombie movie for Netflix. I don't know if he's going to let anything else out the bag. It is very interesting because we kind of wait sometimes. Is he going to unleash something else? I think the black suit is so big and it's caused such a stir that you don't really have to do anything else. We love it. We'd appreciate it. But obviously, he has a family. He wants to celebrate Christmas. I think the fight will continue after Christmas. We will keep on hashtagging release the Snyder Cut. And we will have to hope that things are changing, that Warner Brothers will change their minds. They're making a lot of announcements right now, confirming Shazam 2, Black Adam. Still no Superman movie. I expect that to happen in the new year as well. So going into 2020, because this might be my last video of 2019. I hope not. I hope I'll be available for you while I'm in the UK. But I would think that 2019 has been a massive year for the release the Snyder Cut movement. I think we've just taken such a step up. Everybody knows about what happened now. The mainstream know. We're trending all the time. Not necessarily number one, but we're trending. We're getting 10 to 30,000 tweets. That's amazing. What happened on the anniversary of the theatrical version of Justice League when we were doing the hashtagging, and Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck hashtag released the Snyder Cut as well. Vancity Reynolds, as he calls himself on Twitter as well, Ryan Reynolds, did it as well. You know, it was massive. And I think since then, it hasn't stopped. Warner Brothers have always known the movement's here. But now, the movement's louder. Subway. It's insane. If you look at the 1st of January 2019 to the 1st of December, it's an interesting parallel because the movement wasn't as big then. It was loud. But now it's like we've got a microphone and everyone can hear us. But it's also been a really, really good year for DC properties. I think that Joker and Shazam were massive. I think Shazam was great for the audience it was made for. And I think Joker did really well. We saw what happened with Joker. They were trying to get people not to watch it. They were trying to scare people. It was lunacy. It was lunacy to see people at CNN doing articles and saying why it's so bad. And it was a terrible thing because really, Joker is simplicity itself. It's about a man struggling in the real world. And it's about a man who takes, ultimately after fighting and trying to make his dreams come true, let alone dealing with his mental health problems, he gives in because there really isn't a platform for him to survive. And that really is the moral of that story. It is a story about a version of the Joker. Whether it's the Joker, whether DC are going to amalgamate him into the DCEU, as I say, we don't know what's going on with Wonder Woman. If certain changes happen there and this is some kind of reboot, then who knows? Anything is possible. And I think until we know what cut of Wonder Woman 1984 we're going to see, we really don't know that. So I think it's been a wonderful year for DCEU in the world of DC, and it's been a wonderful year for the release of the Snyder Cut movement. And I certainly don't think we have to fight amongst each other. If you're a Snyder fan and not a DC fan, that's okay. You don't have to be. I'm a DC fan and I admire what Zack did with his 2 DC EU movies. But I don't think there should be any rules here. And I don't think we should put other versions of other DC characters down because, like everything, you may not like ketchup on your eggs and bacon, but some people do. And that's okay, isn't it? You know, life's about variety, different likes, different loves, different hates. We've got to be accepting of each other. We've got to leap outside of ourselves and look at other people's points of view. I'm guilty of having big arguments about a variety of subjects on Twitter. Because these platforms, including YouTube, you see someone talking on YouTube, you react, you get angry. You see someone reacting on Twitter, and it's the same. But as I say, I think it's been fantastic. If you're a DC fan, it's been a fantastic year. I'm enjoying Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm not a big fan of the CW. I walked away from Arrowverse, but I still think it's a great achievement in itself. So there's so much DC content. Then you've got DC Universe with Titans and a couple of other shows as well. You know, so I think all in all, and by the way, I don't know where the hate for Titans comes from, by the way. I think it's a really good show. I like both of the seasons, so I'm a bit surprised about that. That's the thing, isn't it? Just accept there's different pockets of the DC universe and just enjoy it. And then when we look across the road and we look at the MCU, obviously been a massive year for them. And I think Captain Marvel was as controversial as the Joker movie for different reasons. Not because there's anything wrong with that film. I think it's a typical MCU film. It's totally fine. I think it's what Brie Larson came out and said, and I think there was certain elements, pockets of YouTube who were trying to create a boycott, and it didn't work because it was the next film. And then obviously Endgame was massive. Endgame and Spider-Man Homecoming for me, Spider-Man Far From Home were very disappointing. Just comparing the DCU and the MCU, and I think actually. And I'm going to get a rocket on my backside for this. I actually think that Captain Marvel is better than Endgame. And I think Captain Marvel is better than Spider-Man Homecoming because I enjoyed the fact they were trying to tell a story. Of course, there's elements of that where it went a bit woke. But at the end of the day, I think that probably is their best effort of the year. Now, Avengers Endgame should have been my favourite MCU movie, but it wasn't. It wasn't because it was an anticlimax. They took everything that happened amazingly in Infinity War. They did a good job. That was a great setup. It was compelling. They gave us a watered-down version of Thanos, a watered-down version of everything. There were some great moments in there, obviously the end fight, but ultimately, I think that film should have been a hell of a lot more. And then when you look at the Snyder Cut of Justice League, I personally think Justice League 3 will be better than Avengers Endgame. But what do you think? Comment down below about all the subjects. Do you think it's right to argue with fellow DC fans about different versions of stuff that they like? Shouldn't we all be friends? Of course we can have discourse. Of course we can have a heated debate. But I think sometimes when you start putting down other versions of characters and other films that people love, it's a bit much for me. So anyway, like, share and subscribe. Share the channel and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with another video. But if not, have a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. And I'll be back with more DCEU Daily by the 11th of January 2020. Now, hopefully I can do more videos. So don't miss me too much. See you again soon.